Hi folks, shopping done today. I'll put another bit of tape across there. It's nice to get as symmetrical as possible. About there. Well, after last week, with our sort of mini heat wave, it's gone back to what it should be. About 2 degrees outside my studio at the moment. 2 degrees centigrade, that is. And icy breeze. So here we've got cadmium red, ultramarine, bit of orange, not sure I'm going to use that, burnt sienna, burnt umber, black, and the lemon yellow. I don't really like that. I'll go scrape it off and put back my thick cadmium yellow. It's a cheapo paint that one. Well, one of my subscribers, Meg Mazzani, has gone out and spent money on acrylics, and I said that I would. The comments on YouTube on my channel. I'd try and give him some tips about various material. I'll just find some MDF. This, forget the junk picture, I scrapped it already. This is MDF. It's a 3mm MDF. I think it is. It might be even 2mm. Well, I'll get a bit of just to make sure. Yeah, that's a 2mm. So this is 2mm thick, and I cut it with a craft knife. I buy large sheets of it, but I've gone on to the 3mm, which is there we are. It's a millimetre thicker, so it's very tough. Look, very tough indeed. You couldn't break that with your fingers. It's quite cheap, and it's used for backing photographs or paintings and that sort of thing. But I prime one side of it with there's a very smooth side here, and the other side is slightly raised. Well, when you put a coat of PVA glue or gesso, it brings up the surface and you get a bit of a tooth on it. You don't need to rub it down. You can paint on it straight away. It's completely impervious. Great for oil painting and acrylic painting. And I just cut it with a craft knife. Take some cutting through, but you don't need a saw or anything. But be very careful to. Now, I spent 40 years fitting carpets, so I'm very aware of where my fingers are. So when you cut against a straight edge, make sure that if the knife slips, your hand's out of the way of the knife. Otherwise, like me, I've cut my thumb quite badly. So once was enough, so I just give you a warning. So that's that. I also paint on watercolour paper, because that's what I've got a lot of, and I'll just show you what I'm using at the moment. This is the £140 Winsor & Newton practice paper. It's much cheaper than the artist quality, but I wouldn't paint on that with oil without priming with some gesso. And you could put some PVA glue on the other side as well. And you can seal this with PVA glue. It's much cheaper than paint, but it does work. PVA glue is acrylic, and you can give it a couple of coats, let it dry, But if you do it on both sides, it might even out the bubbles that you get when you put water-based paint or PVA glue on one side. Just reading up. But there you are. That should give you some information, but if you want any more information, then you can go on my channel. I did acrylic years ago and quite successful, but it wasn't the medium that I liked. So I got fed up with doing watercolour. I do watercolours, of course, because there are people that would leave my channel or issue an execution notice. I used to be a draftsman before I made a business out of carpets, and that's my old 30-degree set square. And because we used to use pens, ink, I put a couple of bits of masking tape on one side, or both sides, yeah, to keep the plastic or off of the wet ink. But unfortunately I busted the tip of it, so it doesn't go to a point. But it's as big as I need for cutting that sort of paper. I use a metal straight edge for larger cuts, or the MDF. So we'll put that there. Right, that's about it. So let's. I know. I bought a pack of brushes now. I'm sure these are. Where are my scissors? Oh, sorry, I jogged the board. Get me scissors and cut. These were in B&Q, so for those that don't know, it's the equivalent of home base. Home base, not home base. What's the American version of B&Q? They tried to buy B&Q, but it didn't come off, thank goodness. Home Depot, as my brother used to say when he had a house here. They're very cheap, 10 quid, £10, probably about $15. Put some really good brushes there, but I only want the thin ones. The largest brush you can get away with. So I've got this 25mm. That's in 1 inch. Got a couple of those. They're the only ones I would use. I might use this small one. We'll put that to one side, and I'll put those in my drawer later on. They're more for painting. These bristles are acrylic, so we'll see what they can do. I'll put my yellow out, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do on either of these, but I'm just going to start painting and see where we go. It's a long time since I really copied buildings, especially the Venice paintings I did for a year for a gallery. And they were based on an impressionist painter called Antoine Bouvard, aka Marc Aldine, French. And he specialised in beautiful Venice paintings. And we just, well, there were a couple of us doing them. We would change them around. With the architecture we would take for granted as being fairly accurate, but the ancillaries like the boats, the gondolas, figures and stuff like that, where you could find some decking for. Oh, I just want to move that down. Let's move that. This guide here extends the range of, or the height of the Mabeth box easel. I use it just so as to pull the sensor bit down to lock the board so it doesn't bounce around too much. Right, okay, let's move the... I haven't changed my water. I'm not bothered about that. Right, so let's wet the brush and get a bit of black. Where should we put the black? Could put a bit of a pond in there. Now, I have been accused of doing the same thing over and over again. Well, I can assure you that all my paintings are individual, even though they might look like an exact copy, which they weren't. So, we can have the water going through there. And let's put a horizon. I might trim some of those I don't think I'd like to paint a door with these. Right, okay, we can put a bit of stuff down there. No, I'm not really worried about what will happen to these brushes. They're cheap. What did I get? I got two of these. Probably about £1 each on average. It's not bad. I'll keep them clean. They're clean. But if too many of these bristles just spray, I'll just snip them off, because I can do without them. Oh, there's the other one. Right, so that's one view we'll develop, and we'll right. I'm still going to stay with the landscapes. I'm not abandoning them. That's a bit like the other one, isn't it? So we don't want that, but we'll make a biggish tree here, bush. Just to balance. Right, there we are. That could be sea. Right, here we go. Let's put a sky in. Start to put a sky in. You can use something to blur some of this. But it dries quick enough. Right, let's we could have a blue. Don't like that. A bit of black in with that blue. This is a sort of, for me, this is a transition from detailed painting, which is okay, I mean, it's whatever you want to do. But I was looking on YouTube at the abstract expressionists, the Jackson Pollock and Mark Rothko. There's a lovely view of the room that his paintings that he gave to at the British nation in the Tate, Britain. I've seen them a number of times. I've sat in the middle of the room on the bench seat and just lost myself in them. But it's what he did. You can't copy. It's so obvious. It's like Sean Scully. You think you can do them, but he's done them first, and they are originals of him. And if you start copying other people's work, there's just plagiarism, isn't it? Let's put that there. Right. Get some bit of red, bit of yellow, bit of white. Ooh, that's too yellow. That yellow is very strong. It's an artist's quality. I really don't want to get bogged down in any detail. I need some yellow ochre. Come on, yellow ochre, where you go? Ah, there we are. Getting a bit low. I just scrape the drying stuff off. Yeah. Bit of paper. If you see here in the UK, you see a big roll of paint, about paper, kitchen paper and Lidl for £3. Right. I've been using this for a couple of months now. And look, you can imagine how big it was to start with. Look. But it's good stuff, it's good quality. Like everything again, there's always pretty good. Right, there we go. Oh, no, I dropped the little brush in my refreshed waste bin. Right. A bit of the sienna. It's gone dry as well. Oh, let's push out a bit more burnt sienna. Burnt sienna. This is graduate acrylic. They're pretty good, but basic. They are student quality, but nothing wrong with that. Right, let's get some white on there. Let's get a bit of dark. I like black. I also like Payne's grey. They both mix very nicely with black. I'll lighten that up later. Let's just whack a bit of that one. Now that's mainly yellow ochre with the black. Right, get the dark back, black and blue. see how you can change very quickly with oil, with acrylic. Right, let's get away from that. So needs to be left to dry while we go back on the downstairs one. Well, they're not bad brushes. I've used worse. I won't put any trees on that skyline yet. We'll have let's have a bit of green. I'll mix a bit of red with the yellow and the black. Red. Red, yellow, black. Just mix them all together. A bit of white. And then the shadow, put in some black. Right. Give that a clean. And we'll polish off that sky at the top now. Nearly there. Right, a bit of nice yellow. Touch of red. Bit of ochre. All right, let's just bring this way through there. I'll do some mountain scenes, I think, next. Not today, but no, they're both looking the same, aren't they? Never mind, it's all good practice. All right, let's squeeze out some more black. Got loads of black. I've had this membrane on in the same wet palette for about a week now. I haven't changed it. I spray underneath it. There's a bit of toweling in there, and underneath the membrane. It's a special membrane. They're not that cheap, but if you use them as I use them and just spray some water into the toweling, the water comes through gradually, but the paint doesn't go the other way. Masterson Stay Wet sheets. I think they're American. They're very, very good. This box I've had for well over 30 years, I would think. 30 years, where's that time gone? No, I'll do some more on that sky. So we got a lightish sky. The white I'm using is a Galleria. It's not artist quality. I might have said it is, but it isn't. It's a bit thin. Right, let's get a bit of black in there, or a bit of grey. A bit of blue in there, or blue-grey. A bit of black in there. Oh, that's not a bad sky. I can see this tree back up into the sky. But it's just a mixture of the primaries really, plus black. Yeah. Look at that red in there, in with that black. And yellow. Just exploiting those Right, I'll go back on the top now. It's too dark, that sky, so we'll lighten it. Bit of black, bit of blue, load of white. a bit of red in with that. Oh. Right, nearly there. Let's just take that up a bit higher there. Right, that's a bit better, more abstract. Right, I'm going to put out some more white now, but we can clean the palette. Also very useful as toilet paper. White, big half a litre of it. It's Winsor & Newton. Now, when you store it like that, so the paint seals itself, and you don't let any air in. Oh, these brushes are not doing too bad, are they? Well, let's change this one into a bit of a sea picture. So let's get some blue, and a load of white. Just fill that with paint and we can turn that into water. Try and get your horizons horizontal. And we want a little bit of light reflecting on across here. Some darker bits. Right, I've got to keep this one separate from that one. So do those three colours again, the red, yellow and black. Let's have this down here. Right, like that. We'll work on that water, but wants to reflect the sky, especially that bit through there. that needs to dry a bit. Let's get some colour in there now, some nice yellow to red. Look, no individual leaves, just random. And just drag it down. And we'll pull that down. Let's put in some grassy stuff over this. Alright, let's just get some light coming into this edge here. Alright, I'll just put in some stuff there. Mix of darker green. Probably not a good idea, but no, I don't like that. Let's just rub that out. Change the rag, get another one. Oh, that's a bit big. I'll just cut that into shears, so bear with me. Oh, now I've got my carpet shears. Right, a couple of little pads. Actually, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? But I don't think that's right, so we'll go back with some lighter blue. what I've got is a spray bottle. I wonder what happens if you do that. Oh, I'm going to leave that. Right, let's go on to the top one. And get a bit of a warmer sky, or warmer grey, bit of red. Right. Right, we'll let that go for a minute. Let's get some greens in here. Spent quite a bit of time on the bottom one. Lighten that yellow. Look how light you get that yellow. It's almost, well, it's green, but right, I'm going to close that entrance there. So let's go into my red, blue, red, yellow and black. All right. Edge of the pond. It's no good putting a pond on top of a hill, is it? Because you've just run away. I've got a bit of impasto here. Clean the brush. Well, I've done all of this, these paintings with the cheapo brushes. I'm not happy with that colour. Darken it. Right, back to the top one. Let's get some. We've got quite a grey, dark sky. Can put some reflections in. Hey, look at that, because the acrylic dries, you can just crack on with it. Get the red, blue, black. That needs to dry a bit. Now, painting might not take very long, but the downloading and sorting everything out and getting on Facebook takes a lot of time. And a crook neck. All right, let's leave that for a minute. I don't know what this is going to be like on the horizon. Clean the brush, that's get that in there. Soften around there a bit. Well, a bit of a grey colour here, but quite light, just to just drag over it just to create the illusion of detail. Okay, well, to strengthen up the top of that tree on the right. Lighten some of that. Okay, well, that's interesting. I'll leave that. Put in some bits and pieces, just a bit of light shine through. Bit of green coming through there. No, I don't like that. Just a little bit more. Okay, that'll do. Right, leave you to make your minds up about whether they're really good or not. That's a coastal one, obviously, because we put in a bit of stuff on that. It's closed in by sand dunes. But they're my attempt at abstraction. I quite like that. A good practice for doing reflections, but of course it does dry very, very quickly. So let's just take them apart. Oops. I realise that this is not everybody's cup of tea. But I'm going to show them on Facebook separately. But on YouTube, of course, there'll be a double video. Well, 2 in 1. And just move that up there. Or maybe I can do a photograph of the two of them upright on my phone. Otherwise, they'll just go the wrong way. I don't know. Well, I hope you like them, or at least you gain some ideas from them. Not perfect, and I'm using this brush, just one brush, which I'm rather pleased about, because the bristles go all over the place. You get that spiky, that random look, that improvised method, and be careful when you leave the brushes in soak, because the water will get in the ferrule here and fall and come down the handle. Well, they seem to be well made. So, there we go. Right, curry time. And one of my homemade beers were very nice too. Right, thanks for looking in, guys. Bye bye.